It is packed to the brim here at the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City for the Troy Trojans and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Officials: Jeff Hartness, Evan Burrows, Tyler Kumpf. The stage is set. Let's dance. And it will be Nebraska with a 26-6 record, finished second in the Big Ten behind Michigan with the first possession. Hoiberg hanging and has it rejected by Bellamy. And they're going to call it a tie-up and give the basketball to Troy.
How about Bellamy being there ready, vertical, hands up.
Boy, and Dodd took a shot. He's a little slow to get up. How about that for a wake-up call right around noon local? And again, Dowd, as Chris was telling you, he averages a double-double. He's kind of the heartbeat of this team.
I tell you what, fans will get to meet Mr. Dowd today, and as you said, a double machine. He really loves the way that Dennis Rodman used to play, and he just took a shot where Dennis Rodman used to take a shot, because when you box out, it gets physical.
Valdez driving the baseline. Troy, winners of the Sun Belt, they can fill it up from outside the arc. 10 threes a game. Valdez out of control, and he loses it. And you can hear this pro-Nebraska crowd. Butengel missed it at the rim, and Dowd clears it. There's two Campbells on the floor, Kobe and Cooper for Troy, but that is Victor Valdez getting the scoring started.
If you were Troy, that's what you love to see. You started the game off with a great defensive possession, kind of took your time, and look, got a nice quick shot, the fast break.
So we mentioned Nebraska's never won an NCAA tournament game, only power conference team. Troy has never won one either. Next with the offensive board. Spinning and putting it home.
Mass taking advantage of those quick feet inside. Nice dribble to the middle, spin left, off the glass.
This pro-Nebraska crowd is still on their feet. They have been waiting for that tournament win for so long, and they feel like this is their year. Dowd drives on Butengel. Pass deflected. Hoiberg scoops it. Mass, the seventh-year senior. Tapped around. Taken by Campbell.
How about Troy playing physical inside right now? Even though they're undersized, you have to love the toughness that they started this game out with.
The Trojans were in the tournament last year, lost to Kentucky in the first round, but it's a new roster, and they have some early turnover woes. That's 3 in less than 3 minutes for Troy.
Well, guess what? You play against this Nebraska team, you're going to have some turnover woes. Coach Fred Hoiberg loves his team getting in the passing lane, causing a little bit of frantic play from their other team.
You saw Scott Cross over there, Sun Belt Coach of the Year, getting his Trojans on this stage and saying, we are here to win today. Mast, short, Hoiberg, smallest on the floor.
And one of the toughest as well. Just imagine being a coach's son, trying to lead your father's team to the school's first NCAA victory.
What a story. He walked on with his dad 5 years ago. Now in his final season, his final dance. Valdez from the corner. Yes!
Something about the demeanor of this Troy team that you just have to love early, especially when you're coming in as a so-called underdog. You want to keep your composure early. You hope to see some shots come in, but most importantly, you want to stick to the keys that got you here. And Valdez reaching, that did not get his team here. You got to play safe defense now. And look at this. You can't tell me that size matters. Heart matters. Great box out by Hoiberg, getting the tip in and getting an extra possession for his team.
Sam Hoiberg generously listed at 6 feet tall. Number 1 in the conference in steals, and he is all heart. Here is Hoiberg. Butengel lets it fly, but the native of Turkey short on the 3. Both of these teams can really fill it up from outside the arc. And so far, that's how Troy has got their 6 points. Dangerous pass, but another shot from the corner. It's a three from number 3, Cooper Campbell.
Oh my goodness, right now Troy is taking advantage of the switch of the pick and roll up top. Valdez just took his man, and he knew who to trust, his teammate in the corner, to knock down the 3.
Those Campbell brothers, number 2 and number 3, the best three-point shooters for Troy. Buchtengel on a nice feed from Rink Mast.
We love seeing the big-to-big passing. We're going to expect a lot of that, as they should take advantage of their size inside.
Campbell kicks, extra pass, the other Campbell. Kobe, they call him Red Mamba. Now down, short.
Mentioned it earlier, great patience by both teams on the offensive end. They look to swing it side to side, get a mismatch, and then attack and find a wide open shooter. That time just couldn't knock it down.
Chris, none of these fans have sat in this building yet.
It's like a home game for them.
It is unbelievable. 6-hour drive from Lincoln, and these fans have made the journey. Mass from downtown. It'll stay with Nebraska when we get back. First media timeout.
You have to love the play. Look at this. Valdez takes advantage of the switch. Says, I'll get it to my man in the corner. Campbell knocks it down, but you know I'm a big fella. I love the big passing and flushing, big fella.
Watch whip-around coverage of all men's games with Fast Break, presented by AT&T and the March Madness Live app. Brandon Gaudin, Chris Webber, courtside. Over to Andy Katz.
Well, I've covered this team throughout the course of this season, and just what Chris Webber was saying earlier about the importance of Sam Hoiberg trying to help the family out. His father, Fred Hoiberg, the entire family, his mom, Carol, sister Paige, Jack, Charlie, everyone, the importance of getting this first ever win in the NCAA tournament for Nebraska. It means something so much to this family, this father-son connection. Sam telling me yesterday, his roommate Rink Mast on his 7th year, they talk about this. A lot of times coaches say, oh, we don't want to discuss something like this. Well, they do. They know the importance of getting this win in this home crowd. This is Lincoln in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and Andy, Rink Mast, a 7th-year senior, another heartbeat of this team, has really brought the energy early.
Yeah, you think about all he's dealt with, injuries, and being there for his team as the leader, and you just love this right here, the pump fake. Look at him take his time. He looked at the defender, waiting for him to foul him. That's what you want from your veteran. And there you see the point guard letting him know, I'm going to find you all the time.
2 seasons wiped out by a knee injury for Rink Mast. And he ties the game at 9. All of Troy's points have come outside the arc. They've hit 3 triples in 4 tries. Here's another coach's son, Austin Cross, number 95. Campbell, little floater, no. Rebound Sanford. The other way, Jamarcus Lawrence, full head of steam. He runs right into Cooper Campbell, and it's a defensive foul. Winning looks now, presented by Great Clips.
I tell you what, both of these teams are so great. Now, you got to think about Troy. Right now, they need the 3. They take about 28 three-pointers a game, but they're only shooting 33. But, hey, 33%. But you only need 4 or 5 more to fall in. And Nebraska, stick to your identity. No turnovers and stifling defense.
That has been the recipe for success this year. Nebraska turning it over less than 10 times a game. Just as I say that, Mast has it stripped, and it belongs to Troy.
I tell you what, those twins, I'm sure they got on a lot of people's nerves during the season when you talk about the Campbell brothers. And right here, way to sneak back into the play. And you know what? That's a player's call. That's not the coach's call. That's just great anticipation by Campbell.
And the Campbell brothers, their dad, Scott, is an assistant. So there's a lot of family ties on both sides here today. Wraparound pass. The coach's son from the corner. Off the mark for Austin Cross. Down, offensive rebound. On the reload, Sang. And that's tapped out. By the way, for Theo Sang, who just shot that basketball, he's been out since February 14th. He's a big spark for this team. They didn't know if he would be able to go, but he has a brace on the knee, and he's trying to push through it today.
And that's great for a team that might not have the most depth. He needs your big fellas back, and right now, him being inside, helping Dow get those offensive rebounds, extra possessions for the team, they need him.
Coach said they're hoping to get about 15 minutes from Sang today. It's all about pain tolerance.
So that means he's going to play 25.
Yeah, right, with the adrenaline.
Yeah.
And Carrington Keel will get himself to the charity stripe.
Just want to say this about this Troy team, and it's early in the game, but you can always spot tendencies. And what I see in Troy is a team that is ready for the moment, at least right now. They haven't really been punched yet, but however, they're sticking to their principles on the defensive end, and more importantly, I'm really impressed by the way they attack the boards offensively.
Bleacher Report is your one-stop destination for March Madness. Get every moment all tournament long with personalized updates and highlights from your favorite teams. Download the BR app now. Yeah, and again, Troy was here last year, but it was basically a different team. But Scott Cross, the head coach, he was on the sidelines, and so he has some familiarity with this process.
He does, and he talked about the maturity of his team and how they all came together, and he feels better about this team than he did last year.
Prager, talented freshman, a little long from outside. There's Dowd. Rise and fire short. Sanford long rebound. Sanford, by the way, with the basketball, averages 18 a game. He's just 0 of 1. They have shut the water off him so far. Double team on Mast. There's Sanford. Quick release. Got it!
Great players let the ball come to them. You love the fact that Sanford isn't pushing it, taking bad shots, messing up the rhythm of the team. He's patient. He says, I trust my teammates. They'll get it to me, and I'll knock it down.
That was his 114th three-pointer this year, most in the Big Ten. The Trojans have missed their last 5 shots. Keel, and a foul, second quick one on Cale Jacobson, who gives him 10 minutes a game off the bench.
Look at the ball movement, though. Take your time. Mast understands that, hey, if we're patient, if we move the ball around, we'll get some open looks, and all you need is a little bit of space to knock it down.
And Scott Cross told us yesterday what impressed him so much about Price Sanford was how quick that release is.
Oh, it is beautiful. He has a pro release for sure.
Sang gives it up. Keel trying to find a space into the shot clock here. Campbell off balance, got it! And that is how the 4-minute drought ends for Troy.
Well, if I'm Nebraska, I'm tired of Campbell already. He comes double team, gets a steal. His brother comes in, and look at that, throws one up as well and knocks down the three-pointer.
Again, Cooper and Kobe, the 2 top three-point shooters for the Trojans. Sanford, he is covered up by Keel, but Keel a little too close and picks up the foul. Timeout on the floor.
Ball movement, trust, and a little bit of luck.
For the number 13 seed, Troy up 13-12. Troy has done their damage from deep. On the other side, Nebraska has done it in the paint. And Fred Hoiberg's with Andy Katz.
Fred, how do you contain them on the three-point line? Because that's where they're getting most of their points.
Yeah, I mean, they've hit a couple tough ones. That last one, not a lot you can do about it. I thought it was a good defensive possession. Biggest thing, just run them off the line and then trust their rotations.
Thanks, Fred.
Okay, thanks.
He's always so cool, calm, and collected. Of course, he's been through this as a player, now as a coach, was in the tournament 2 years ago. But he knows they've got their hands full today with Troy.
Yeah, you see the calmness in him, I think, because of his approach. He coaches his guys in practice and expects them to execute during the game, and that trust is something you see here.
Campbell lost it going up, and it will belong to Nebraska. It was so fun yesterday hearing you and Fred Hoiberg talk about facing each other. You guys faced each other in high school, in college, and then in the NBA as well.
That's right. His team in Iowa, my super friend team, we got to beat them then, but and then play against him in the NBA as well. But Fred, this team takes on his personality. That's grittiness, toughness, no excuses, no nonsense, and that's why you love watching his teams play.
He was a look at this. This is you and Fred.
I'm yelling foul. See? I told you he fouls a lot.
And that photo, for those that don't know, there was a tough ending to that game. You had a great three-point look to win it, but it went in and out. Oh. Fred actually got the rebound on your miss, and his team would go on to the conference finals.
And it was so nice of him to remind me of that yesterday.
Bad pass, and Frager saves the turnover. Down the lane, hanging, can't finish. Pinballs around, Troy carries it out of there.
Look who ends up with it. Dowd, a.k.a. Rodman.
He even has a Dennis Rodman shirt, Dowd. I'm just happy he knows who he is, because he wasn't alive when Rodman was playing.
Exactly.
And Valdez has it blocked, and this pro-Nebraska crowd letting their voices be heard.
Coach Hoiberg is really upset with this, because look, Valdez thinks about passing it, but he takes a little bit of step. Look more like a travel in real time right there, but that's what you want to do. You want to be aggressive, and when you hear coaches say aggressive, what does that mean? It means attack, be confident with what you do in practice, and try to let that translate to the game.
Watch every men's game live on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Download now to stay up to date on all the action. Thursday of the NCAA tournament, nothing better, and we are just getting started with our first of 4 here in Oklahoma City. And so far, it has been a good one. Troy up 3. Over the top, down inside, but a turnover. Jared Garcia just lost it. The other way down, driving kick. Cross off the shot fake. To the rim, no. Bodies hitting the deck, ripped out by Hoiberg. And then Frager is tripped. Foul on Troy.
Think the NCAA tournament has started yet? Can you tell that these guys really want to win? Great penetration by Troy. Just really couldn't finish inside amongst the trees, and getting back on defense. Probably a good thing that they fouled right there, as the numbers. Nebraska had the advantage on the fast break.
Part of the reason when you're talking, Chris, about them ready for the moment, Troy has 11 returning players, so they've been here before. Scott Cross has been here before. Not a lot of turnover, so they are ready for this moment, just like you said, Chris.
But on the other side, Sanford has hit his second 3 to tie this thing at 15 apiece. And then Sanford on the deck. And Mass leaves it. Sanford, yes! The price is right in Oklahoma City.
Welcome back to Oklahoma, and Sanford is giving us our money's worth. 3 threes. Now, we all know he's first team all Big Ten, but when he just knocks down these shots, it's crazy. He's 7th nationally in 3-pointers per game, 3.5. It's fun watching him play, but more importantly, Brandon, he's letting the game come to him, and that is kind of the nuance of being really effective in March.
And how about his brother Peyton, who plays for the Thunder, just got his first NBA bucket yesterday in Brooklyn against the Nets, and now he's watching little brother here today.
Oh, man.
Taken away by Frager, and a whistle and a foul is going to go against Troy. Andy has more on the Sanford brothers.
And of course, it was a 3 hit last night in his first points in the NBA, like only Sanford's do. Look, they played together last year at Iowa. When Fran McCaffrey left Iowa, ends up at Penn, obviously the opening was there for Price to go to Nebraska, which he was recruited out of high school. So Fred Hoiberg knows the family very well, but I'll tell you, the family has switched allegiances for now. They're all Nebraska. They used to sit in a different part of Carver Hawkeye when they were sporting Peyton, but the brothers are very close, work out quite a bit. So great to see that he was here in time for the game.
And Fred telling us he did, as Andy was alluding to, recruit Price very hard out of high school. And this time he's short, but follows up his miss. And he's had a couple of games this year of over 30 points. So when Sanford gets hot, folks, look out. Lawrence, step back, book it.
That's beautiful, and that's a result of Nebraska attacking the basket, driving. So you have to anticipate it. And what happens? Step back, hit him in the head with the three.
It is a 9-0 Nebraska run. Shot clock at 5. Campbell drives. High off the glass. No. Buchtengel, strong two-handed rebound.
Troy needs to communicate on defense. There's been a couple of laps when they had switches. They need to make sure they communicate so they can get to the correct man and not leave any wide open shots.
In the passing lane, Campbell, and then his brother Kobe takes it. Threading the needle and sang back from the injury with his first NCAA tournament bucket.
And that's what I'm talking about. They were on a string. He understood that the ball is going to come. He came from the opposite side, and that's how you help your teammates out. You just don't leave them on the island. You make sure they have a little bit of help.
It's also the first two-point field goal in this half for the 13th seed Troy. Mast out of a double. Frager foul. Count it.
Frager made the muscles, because you got to be strong to finish on a play like that. Gets the contact from two, lays it up with the left. Money.
It's round one, but you've been putting in the work for your team all season. Celebrate making it to the tournament with an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Andy Katz is with Scott Cross.
All right, Scott, so Nebraska's on their run right now. Early in the game, you guys were knocking down threes. How do you get back to that?
Well, we can't let Sanford get going. We let him hit 2 open threes, 1 off an offensive rebound. 1, we didn't make a good decision. We've had like 5 turnovers. We got to do a better job not taking care of the ball, because they've got probably 10 more shots than us right now. We're playing good offensively. Got to clean up those little things.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Second straight year bringing them to the tournament. He also brought his alma mater UT Arlington to the dance back in 2008. But both of these teams looking for that elusive first program win in the NCAA tournament.
Coach Cross knows his team. I mean, they're top 60 in D1 in steals, over 8 a game. He wants them to get back in the passing lane, play tough, and not give up those open three-pointers to one of the best shooters in the country.
They won the regular season and the postseason tournament in the Sun Belt. Down inside, and there's their man, Thomas Dowd, the junior from Alabama. Dowd has been limited so far. That's his first bucket. He's their leading scorer and their leading rebounder on the season. So if they're going to pull off the upset, number 1 needs to get it going. Around the arc, there's Sanford again. My, oh my. He's got a dozen now, this Price Sanford. Campbell on the angle, curls it around. Valdez. There's Dowd from the corner. Sang had it. It was flying underneath the basket. And they'll say it stays with Troy.
Back to the last 3. Look at this ball movement right here. Quick swing, and you get it over. It's like skeet shooting. Pull! It's automatic. Every time he would shoot the ball, if he's my teammate, I'd scream pull, whether he's open or 2 guys are on.
With those 4 makes, he's now hit 117 threes on the season. Just so electric.
Troy needs to take advantage of the switching. The guards get a big on, and they have room to penetrate. And right there, just a little bit of a travel on that end. But that's all because of the great defense of this Nebraska team. When you have guys moving around, coming over help side, it's so much more trust, and you can allow yourself to get up on your player and have confidence that you can stop him.
And Scott told Andy we cannot continue to turn it over. That's now 7 miscues here in the first half for Troy. There he is again, folks.
Is there anything more beautiful than a pretty jump shot?
Bad pass, another turnover. If they find him here, the roof might come off this place. Instead, it's Lawrence. How about Frager, the freshman, ripping it down? A little scuffle. It's March. Tempers flaring.
Dowd loves Rodman, taking a page out of his book. But look at Sanford. All I'm going to say is pull each time. Great feet placement. Follow through, and says to his fans, thanks for coming out to OKC. We're going to reward you guys with some good play.
There is a small Troy contingent, but the way that Nebraska's traveled here to Oklahoma City for that 6-hour drive is downright impressive. By far the most tickets that were sold for this event went to the Nebraska fans. Buchtel collects. This time it's Frager. Offensive board. Everybody just wants this guy to put it up right now. Instead, he's drawing the second foul here in the first half on Victor Valdez.
Love how he didn't settle. He has the green light. He could have shot that three easy and been okay with it. But that's what you have to learn in this tournament, is how to take advantage of the other's team every single play. And right there, he didn't let them off the hook. Penetrating, getting the hand check, going to the line.
8 fouls on Troy, 1-1 for Sanford. And yes, he can also make shots inside the arc. Time to start your engines, because TNT Sports is back as your home for NASCAR this summer. Tune in beginning June 28th on TNT and stream on HBO Max.
If you're Troy, you got to stick to what got you here. You got about 20 more threes left. You're taking 8. You take about 20 a game. But the thing is, this team is top heavy. They only score about 17 off the bench. So you're asking a lot of your starters to get back in the game when you get down early.
Here's their main man, Dowd. Well, Campbell wanted to shoot it. He lost it, but it will stay with Troy. Those first few minutes, Chris, it felt like maybe Nebraska had the jitters, and they've heard all the talk about never winning a tournament game, but boy, have they settled in.
Yeah, and what you want to do in your first game in any tournament, every game, but the first game, you want to do the little things first. You want to run hard to the other end, box out, get that sweat going, because when you get stuck in the process, you don't necessarily think about the outcome. You want to make sure you're in and in and in the process, because that's what got you here. Kick ball. A little bit of a slip right there from Campbell as he wanted to take that three. Get the ball back.
The patented Go Big Red chant echoing here throughout Paycom Center. It's a 20-4 run extended over the last 5.5 minutes. Blow by. Well, Keel couldn't get the bucket, but he will get to the line.
And Troy is going to have to continue putting Nebraska in situations where there's a mismatch, so either they can get an open three or try to penetrate, just like on that play there. You're undersized. You don't have a deep team, so you need to be as efficient as you can on every single play. Great job that time.
Carrington Keel, redshirt sophomore from Birmingham, a couple hours from where Troy is located in Troy, Alabama. Southeastern part of the state. And he's able to knock him down. Quiet this crowd for the moment.
Look at Campbell already. You see the Twins already increasing the pressure. 94 feet. That lets you know the coach made an adjustment. They're going to their press to try to get back in this game and make a game of it before the half.
Here's Jamarcus Lawrence. He was on the team 2 years ago, then transferred last year to Rhode Island, and in a rare situation, transferred back to Nebraska here in his final season. Gives it up to Frager. Front iron, Sang with a rebound.
Great job in his zone. Easy to give up offensive rebounds. Great box out that time.
Down a little out of control, and he turns it over. Dowd and Valdez, they're two go-to guys. Tough first halves. Lawrence stops, hangs, fouled. That's 2 on Kiel as we head to the under 4 timeout. The Nebraska Cornhuskers trying to get that monkey off their back. They know what's on the line today, and they're playing like it. Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com. On the men's side, tournament summary. Miami of Ohio silencing the doubters. Such a great year. They lose in the conference tournament. They get in. They beat SMU by 10. And how about your Michigan Wolverines, #1 seed for the 4th time in program history?
Oh, man, you got to love it. Love the heart and the will of that team. And to all my, spent a lot of time in D.C., so I'd like to apologize to all my family, you know, Cheo, Will Willingham, because we're coming at you today.
Yeah, those 1 seeds look dangerous, and we're going to see a 2 seed here in Houston later today, of course, who has great tournament experience, almost won it last year. It's going to be a fun day of basketball.
Oh, man, it already is. And you see with Nebraska coming out with this intention, getting in the defensive passing lane, saying, wait, we want our first win ever for Nebraska in the NCAA tournament. It's already a great start.
Got a good look for Campbell. Tapped out and able to save the possession. Sang was able to get a hand on it there. That's going to go against Coach's son, Sam Hoiberg. Our winner of this game will face the winner of the next one between Vanderbilt and McNeese. That should be a fun one in a track meet.
Yeah.
But right now, Nebraska trying to seize control here with 3:28 to go in the first half.
And, you know, again, if you're Troy, I feel like you've been playing well, except a little carelessly on offense with the ball. If you guys take care of the ball and kind of keep penetrating, there's some opportunities for them, because a team like Nebraska, you do not want them playing downhill with that confidence against you all day.
They haven't had a field goal in over 3.5 minutes. They had a drought of 4 minutes earlier this half. Valdez out there with 2 fouls. Forcing it up, no good for Bellamy.
Great help by Mass that time. Coming over, staying vertical, getting in the way of the offensive play.
Mast had position inside, but they work it around the arc. Lawrence open from the wing. Dowd high with 2 hands. Dowd, NBA range. Boy, they started hot from deep, but they've gone ice cold.
There they have. But one thing we know about this team, they are going to shoot them 28 per game. Ooh, nice job inside.
Mass trying to battle for it. It remains with Nebraska. Yeah, I mean, Troy's a perimeter-oriented team. That has been their recipe. Even when they miss shots this year, Scott Cross says, guys, we got to keep shooting them when we're open.
And you have to win many different ways. You have to coach to the level of your talent, and this team is much better shooting outside and attacking the basket than their height allows them to play inside. But you can always get in the passing lane and get a steal like the big fella.
Oh, but Valdez can't complete it. And here come the Huskers. Hoiberg right into the teeth of Campbell. $15 points, largest lead for Nebraska. Sanford almost stole it. Bellamy, their best athlete, offensive foul. Coach is letting a couple of these players stay out there with 2, and that's now the 3rd C-Web on Gerald Bellamy.
Oh, man, you have to kind of take that gamble. You don't want the game to get away too far, and if you're Bellamy, you're going to be upset with that call, as it looks like maybe the player was moving, but you know what? You earn a reputation for these moments. In Nebraska, they take charges, they get in the passing lanes, they play defense.
And Coach is going to keep Bellamy out there. Over the last 4 games, he has scored almost 20 a contest. He has been huge for Scott Cross and Troy, and he is trusting Bellamy, the redshirt senior, to stay out there. But he has not scored yet today. Part of the reason that Troy's down 15. Sanford way downtown. This one off the mark. And Sang with the board. Trying to go over the top. Bellamy collects. Slips it into Sang for 2.
That's what Troy's going to have to do. They're going to have to push the pace. It's hard to get shots inside when you're undersized. So what do? Get in the passing lanes, get some steals, but try to get some scores in your early offense or fast break.
There's over 5 minutes in between field goals before Sang hit that bucket. Lawrence just going to pull. There's Mast. So tough to block out in there. Buchungel taps it in.
So defeating mentally sometimes when you play great defense and you give up 2 offensive rebounds on the same play when you're trying to get some momentum to come back.
And you got those 2 big bodies in there for Nebraska at 250. Hard to keep off the glass. Inside of a minute. Sam Hoiberg, drive and kick. Mast, he can hit that. Buchungel, native of Turkey. Only player from Turkey ever to go to Nebraska. He's got it here. He turns. And he does not get the bounce, but there's Mast again. On the reload. Yes! Final seconds of the half. This place is up for grabs. Sang, they're going to call a foul before the buzzer. And you also have Buchungel for Nebraska, who is in some pain. Buchungel, player who started his career under Mick Cronin at UCLA, transferred to Nebraska in his 2nd season there. Took a shot right inside the groin area. Buchungel is up and walking off gingerly.
Back on the clock is when the foul actually occurred.
So they're going to take a look at the clock here. The officials, Jeb Hartness, Evan Burrows, Tyler Kump, and figure out how much time should be on the clock. Early on, Troy had that 15-12 lead. And ever since that, Nebraska has just taken off. Good time to welcome in Gene Steratore. Gene, what did you see here on this last play?
The clock will be placed back.
What they're doing actually, Brandon, right now, because there were zeros now on the clock by the time the play occurred or the foul was called, they can now review back and go and look and see when did the contact actually occur that created the whistle. And by looking at it, for me, I think we're right maybe just at 1 second, 0.9, but that's what they're trying to decipher now, is then when Sang starts to the hoop, right when these knees bang right at that point, they'll take a look at the clock above, rewind that, and then they'll go back and add some time.
All right, Gene, great to have you with us again for another NCAA tournament. And they are going to put 0.8 on the clock, and Sang knocks down the first. Coming up, AT&T at the half, scores and highlights, and the latest NCAA tournament news. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. One final heave. Who else but Sanford? It would be fitting if it went. He almost got it. He led Nebraska with 17. Really impressive first half for the Cornhuskers.
It really is. You love their composure coming out, but again, sticking to their identity, doing it on the defensive end, and then letting it fly when they got to the other side of the court.
Over to Andy.
Well, Price, you may not be able to hear me because this place is out of control, all big red. You tied a career, Nebraska record with 5 threes. You got 17. You guys are now on a heater. How did this change in the first half?
Well, I mean, we got an offensive rebound 3 to start, and then my teammates just kept finding me in transition. Got some good looks out of our flow plays. So, yeah, we really just started hitting shots, getting a lot of stops on the defensive end, being scrappy like we wanted to.
Appreciate it, Price. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, 17 for him. They also had 17 second chance points. Did Nebraska owning the offensive glass. And we have reached intermission. We're just getting the party started here in Oklahoma City. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. First round action in Oklahoma City. Game 1 of the day here at Paycom Center, and Nebraska with a 41-25 lead over Troy. Victor Valdez of Troy with Andy Katz.
Well, Victor, they are dominating you guys on second chance points and points off turnovers. How do you change that?
We got to take care of the ball. We got to box out, go pursue the ball, and come with the ball and with some hands at the rebound.
What else did Coach Cross stress in that locker room?
He just said we got to take care of the ball, keep moving the ball, emphasis a lot in rebound, and just play hard, man. We really just turning the ball over because we're dribbling, so we just got to take care of the ball and rebound.
Thanks, Victor.
Thank you.
All right, Brandon Gaunt and Chris Webber courtside. Yeah, Victor Valdez a little somber there. They got off to a good start. They've struggled, and Thomas Dowd, their leader, just 2 points and 4 rebounds.
That's because in that locker room, they feel they should be in this game. When you look at this, 32 of their 41 points came off of turnovers and second chance points. When you think about that, only 9 points has so-called been earned on the offensive end. You really have to look at the mirror and say, hey, guys, let's get some toughness. Let's go out and make it happen.
You see what's at stake. Neither program has ever had a win in the NCAA tournament. Nebraska up 16, and they're 20 minutes away from changing that narrative. Valdez had 8 for Troy in that first half, gives it up. Tries to attack Samford in the corner. One of the Campbell brothers to his other brother, Kobe. In and out. And a rebound to Rink Bass.
What a little adjustment by Hoiberg that time. Starting off the second half with a little amoeba zone, kind of switching, staying in the way of guys, not letting them be prepared for the screens that they were planning coming out of the locker room.
And Bass has it stripped. Look at Buchtengel flying in, but he throws it away. Remember, Buchtengel went down with an apparent groin injury into the first half, but back out there. And Dowd being aggressive. Drawing the foul on Lawrence as we go back over to Andy.
Well, I walked on the court with Fred Hoiberg and asked him what he emphasized in that locker room. He says, we got to throw that first punch. We got to continue to win the 50-50 balls. Those points off for turnovers obviously were beneficial to them in the first half, but the second chance points, diving on the floor for the ball like you just saw, those are the kinds of things that are going to win this game. And they did say those first few minutes, yeah, had to settle down. The jitters were there, and then they started making their shots.
Well, the coach that's been through it, 4 straight tournaments when he was at Iowa State, went to the Sweet 16 in 2014, and now trying to get that elusive first win for Nebraska. Let's see if that gets Thomas Dowd going for Troy. He now has 4. He averages 15.
Have a little 3-quarter press right now. And the reason why you do that as an offensive team is because you're looking for ways to manufacture offense and get possessions. And what do you know, right there, man, you don't usually see turnovers like that, but that's kind of an unforced turnover. But that's what you want to do. Switch up your strategy, put the team in a position to try to figure it out in that live moment. Great job by Troy getting the turnover.
Back-to-back turnovers for the Cornhuskers. The Campbell brothers back and forth, 2 years apart. Kobe the older. And Kobe tracking this down with a shot clock dwindling. Down the lane, teardrop. No. And Nebraska has just not allowed many second chance opportunities on that end of the floor. Mass put on the line. Down high with 2 hands.
Got to get back to that high screen and roll and try to get some switches and put the defense in a position where they're back on their heels and you can attack.
Right now having trouble getting it inside, but Valdez pulls and hits from downtown.
I like his game. He's a big fella with a little man's game. He likes to step back, and that's what happens. You have to take advantage of the switches, and sometimes you just got to take a shot and try to get the team back in the game yourself. Great attempt right there.
He's a great story from Mexico. Went over to Madrid to play in Spain. Had an opportunity to come to the States. And now a junior with the Troy Trojans. Leads them with 11. And Sanford leads Nebraska with 20.
Kyle looks at his teammate and says, wait a minute, we were supposed to switch right there. We talked about that, but that's what you want to do. When you cut with integrity and you screen with integrity, you always put the defense in a tough spot to make some decisions on the fly.
Up top, Bellamy stripped. The Big Ten steals leader strikes again. Sam Hoiberg. Around the arc, here he is again. Long rebound. Knocked out, will head the other way. Some of the players looking to the bench asking to challenge. Both teams do have their challenge left.
Look at the footwork, 1-2. The footwork on the jump shot is just as important as the follow through. You have great jump shooters tell you that anytime. And Sanford, I'm impressed with his follow through, his footwork, and his cutting ability off the screens.
Already a Nebraska record with those 6 threes in a tournament game, and we still have 16 and a half to go. Valdez tries to sling it the other way, almost stolen. Down, fading. Campbell, offensive board. There's Valdez trying to draw the foul, doesn't get the whistle. And Hoiberg for the rebound. Lawrence in the corner. Campbell drives, Euro step. Second foul on Sam Hoiberg. 2 free throws coming. Timeout on the floor. Nebraska up 14 over Troy. A lot of Nebraska fans, young and old, here in OKC. They're up 14. Take a peek at our winning looks presented by Great Clips. See when we revisit your keys, and you were kind of spot on.
Oh man, well it's easy when you watch teams and you see what they do best. In Nebraska, they turn you over, they get open shots in their defense, and that's where their consistency comes from. But if you're Troy, you still put up a lot of threes. I think you just need to speed the pace up, and hopefully you see a couple more threes go down.
Again, they make about 10 a game, 5 of 15. They started hot. They hit 3 of 4, but since then, cold. The Campbell brothers, we mentioned what a story it is for Troy. Kobe's at the line now, Cooper, and then their father, Dad Scott Campbell, first-year assistant under Scott Cross. So a family affair for Troy here in the tournament.
Troy's not finished. Right now, again, with that pressure, that three-quarter defense, we've seen that cause a couple of turnovers for Nebraska, who's not known for that. But really what it does is it gets everyone's intensity up, your awareness up, and again, you try to get a couple on that break.
On this end, Sanford has been the story with 20. He's got it right here. Is it 23? It is.
Rule number 1 in basketball, do not double off of the hot man. That time, Sanford's man went directly to double team, pass it right back, open shot.
He is 7 of 11 from downtown, on track for another 30-point game. And Campbell cannot connect from deep.
Good look.
Yeah, those are the looks that they want, and that's the right shooter. Just not falling right now. Lawrence in rhythm. Yes!
As a coach, this is when you get a little bit nervous with a young team or an unexperienced team when it comes to the tournament. And that is, how can you take a team's best punch and also stop the momentum of the crowd who's enjoying the game as well.
The lead is ballooned to 18, and they've got a chance to add to it. They've set a school record by hitting 347 threes, 10 more today. This time inside, Hoiberg. Mass spinning. Frager, three-time Big Ten Freshman of the Week, needs a friend. Sanford slips it into Mass. When he's not hitting threes, he's dropping dimes.
What a pass. And that's what I mean about cutting with integrity. That means you cut the same way every time, so your defender doesn't know if you are a decoy or if you're a live cutter. That time, Sanford, live cutter, got his man involved.
Oh, boy.
There says, slow down. We're still in this.
They needed that badly. And now Valdez with a team-high 14. But someone other than him's got to come to the party.
You're right, and they have to do it offensively or on the glass. A lot of ways to contribute to this team when you're down 20.
Lawrence from 17. Boy, the Cornhuskers, they're a well-oiled machine right now.
Getting to their spots, executing their offense, not playing hero ball, sticking together. You gotta love the teamwork.
Dowd got him a look. Long rebound, and it belongs to Nebraska. Dowd is now just 1 of 7 from the field, 0 of 5 from long range.
This is what I mean about staying within your offense. He drives the baseline. More importantly, Mass seals off this man right here. But look, you can't double off of him. Valdez does that. Pull. Bang from the corner.
I looked over at Scott Cross after that three. He was just shaking his head. He knew what you just said. We cannot leave that man. Hoiberg. Kick out. Frager, the southpaw. Campbell with a board. They push. 2-on-1. Cross. Yes. The coach's son puts it up and in. Wears number 95 because he wanted to wear 10, what his dad wore growing up and in college, but wasn't available. So he picked 95 because of Lightning McQueen in the Cars movie. And Frager, his way to the bucket for 2.
Both of these teams' weakness is lack of depth. And right now with Cooper, I see it on his face. He's tired. He looked at his coach the last play. And you wonder how fatigue is going to now set into this game when you have 5 guys trying to come back from 19 down.
Nebraska last played on Friday, 6 days ago. Big Ten quarterfinals, lost to Purdue. Troy's had a bit of a breather since the 9th when they won the Sun Belt title. But right now, the Cornhuskers have control of this one. And sometimes a coach will tell you if you have too long after the conference tournament before the NCAA tournament, could be a bad thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That can go both ways. Nebraska, the 4 seed, with a crowd on their side, and they are cruising. All right, Jamie, winner of that game will take on either Duke or Siena on Saturday. Meanwhile, here, first game of the day in Oklahoma City, and Nebraska up 19 over Troy. Troy had the early 3-point lead, 15-12, and then Nebraska took off. Rink Mass has been tremendous. 7.6 rebounds, 7 assists. And he's got it right here. Give him 2 more. He doesn't want the spotlight, but he does a little bit of everything for the Cornhuskers.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't want the spotlight, but he's going to have it because he's effective and he impresses a lot of guys like myself when you can pass and also cut inside, hold your position, seal your man off, and knock it down.
And what a story he is, Rink Mass. As we mentioned, the 7th-year senior, 152nd college game today, native of the Netherlands, setting a screen for his teammate Sam Hoiberg. Here's Frager, the freshman who grew up going to Nebraska games from there in Lincoln. Mast again, yes, back-to-back buckets for the big fella.
If I'm Mast, big man coach, I'm telling him when he has that left-hand dribble spin all the way every time, his shoulders are so wide that he's going to be able to get that jump hook whenever he wants it.
The lead had ballooned to 23, but Sang able to get it back to 60-40. Just wonder if Troy has a run in them. Right now they're just running into a buzzsaw. Mass with a miss, Sang with a board. This is a Troy team, folks. It averages over 80 points a game. That's the most in 22 years for the Trojans. Turning it over. Frager on the breakaway. He is a fan favorite, the kid from Lincoln who went to Southwest High School, just 5 miles from Pinnacle Bank Arena where they play their games. From the wing, that is short. Rebound to Hoiberg. And now they look to add on. Jacobson. Frager again. Almost tapped in. Boy, Hoiberg somehow is always around the ball.
I'm telling you, because of positioning, box out, but more importantly, his awareness and toughness to execute.
Dowd. It has not been his day. And off the mark for Keel on the putback attempt.
Coach Hoiberg slows the pace down a little bit. Tells his guys, let's execute and run. They've been pushing the pace and getting some easy buckets, and now he says, wait a minute, we have them where we want to. Let's wear them down a little.
Mass goes to work. Off the bounce, Frager step back, and the lead is ballooned to 25.
That's the one he wanted after that dunk. Love to get your feel with easy shots. It opens the bucket up for you when you see the easy ones go in. And when you have this type of energy in the building and your teammates going crazy, it's so rewarding.
Nebraska is 8:22 away from breaking that goose egg and getting that first tournament win. And Andy Katz is in a sea of red here in OKC.
Let me tell you something. I've been covering this tournament since Chris Webber was playing at the Fab Five. I have never seen an opening round game on a Thursday like this. This is Pinnacle Bank Arena. This is Big Red. We are not in Lincoln, but we might as well be. This is unbelievable. This entire crowd is Nebraska. It's a home game, everyone.
And they have been standing pretty much the entire game. That's what's impressed me.
And I got to concur with my man Andy. I've been playing a long time. I don't know if I've seen a first round with this many visitors here. This sea of red is so much fun. And I tell you what, these players, I can tell you personally, they feel that support. And that's what's so awesome about this time of year.
It's a program that has been hungry for a winner for so long. Their football program has been down for a little while. But this basketball team, they are rolling. Jacobson, yes. Twelve three-pointers, a 28-point lead. Bellamy lines it up, short. And Bellamy, one of those guys who came in hot, still has not scored in this game. It's kind of been the story for the Troy Trojans. Frager turns the corner, following it up. Buchungel in the lead at 30. Baseline drive, Keel, and a bump and a foul. Timeout. Nebraska. The folks from Lincoln, they can taste it. And 12 three-pointers. Look at the second chance points, 19-1.
And look at the points off turnovers. I mean, when you think about that, 36 points right there, you really just gave up. And don't get me wrong, Nebraska earned it, but if you're in that Troy locker room, you're saying, man, we let some opportunities go.
This is their only returning starter from last year, Dowd, and he has it stripped by Buchtengel. That's the thing for Troy. They were coming into this year, because they lost 4 starters, not picked to do much in the Sun Belt, but they won the regular season. They won the conference tournament. First time they've been to back-to-back dances. It's been a great story, but unfortunately today, Nebraska's just been a bit too much.
And hopefully they remember that, that this is going to be painful, this is going to be tough, but you do want to take account of the accomplishments you had during the year. And talking to Coach Cross, he was happy that his guys just got some NCAA tournament gear this year. And thank the Lord, he said that Adidas hooked them up. But last year, they came into the tournament not even having their own gear to wear before the games. And so he's stepping this program up step by step by step. And you really love watching them and watching him build his own program.
Yeah, he's a tremendous coach. You think before last year, they'd only been to the dance 2 times ever. Now they've gone back-to-back seasons. So what he's building in Troy is something special.
And that's what the tournament reminds me more than anything. It's one shiny moment. It's the best time ever. And for most of these teams, it's about getting back to the process, embracing it, and continue building upon those dreams that you have of winning that ultimate championship.
And look, we're in a different era of college basketball with NIL, but if he can keep some of these younger guys together, and at the line is one of those guys that could return in Campbell, it's a team that once again could find their way back to the NCAA tournament next year.
Oh, definitely. And of course, we're going to have a lot of movement, maybe too much movement from player to team, if you ask me. But there are going to be teams like this with Troy and others where guys are committed to stay. And when you make that commitment to stay, it's an awesome thing, because you don't just do it for legacy or because you like the coach. You do it because you want the fans to understand how much you love the school. You want the coach to understand your teammates, and you want to make a name for yourself and your squad.
And Troy, this is the highest seed of their 4 trips to the tournament, of 13 this year. They were a 14 last year when they lost to Kentucky and Milwaukee. For Nebraska, this is the best seed they've had since '91, and they're playing like it today.
I mean, come on, Troy won the regular season championship, which is tough to do, and then you go and win the tournament as well. So don't get me wrong, disappointment tonight. Even though you see Campbell knock down another one, but they got a lot to be proud of.
And those Campbell brothers both could return next year. Kobe Campbell that hit that shot, a redshirt junior, started his career at a junior college in Idaho before joining his brother in Troy, Alabama. Sanford off the mark. Valdez almost dragged that pivot foot. Valdez could come back next year too. He's just a junior. Piece to build around. Over and back. That is 13 turnovers today for Troy. First 4 coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship continues tonight at 7 p.m. on ESPN2. For more info on game times and listings, you can go to ncaa.com.
Hopefully for Valdez and Dowd, they understand that scouts, ex-players, guys with game, we can see through a bad game. And you can see the skill set. And I'm telling you, Valdez, I really like his handle and what he's done. And disappointing again, but you see the heart of this team by not slowing down.
Here is Valdez, way off the mark. Yeah, Dowd as well, also a junior. So if Scott Cross was able to keep both of those guys, those are kind of your 2 building blocks. They would have a really dangerous team again next year.
Think about it. You can win your conference again next year. You know, it's steps in this. And so, yeah, you want to dominate where you can. And I'd love to see them come back and run it back.
Rebound for Buchtengel. But it's hard not to appreciate what Nebraska is doing today. They knew the pressure. They heard all the talk. But they have not been phased here in this first game in Oklahoma City. And not only are they going to win here for the first time in the dance, they're going to get their 27th win, which will be a program record. And the threes continue to rain.
These type of games are so good for teams on a mission because you're letting guys get practice shots up in the game without worrying about the repercussions because you're up so big, and it allows you to get your game flowing. And you see that from the big fella knocking down the three.
Scott Cross takes a timeout. It is all Huskers with less than 3 to go.
Shoot it, big fella. Shoot it for all the big fellas around the world. Knock it down.
It's round 1, but you've been putting in the work for your team all season. Celebrate making it to the tournament with an ice-cold Coca-Cola. I think these Nebraska fans are ready to celebrate with an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Maybe mixed with something else after this one's over. Their team is up big with less than 3 to go.
I think that moment happened around 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, downtown littered with Nebraska fans from early this morning. And in no rush here, Sanford has had a huge game with 23. Frager in the corner. Another one drops. 14 threes today for Nebraska. They're just adding on to their program record for three-pointers made in a season. It's worked for them all year long. Cross in some trouble, and he loses it out of bounds.
And I'm so impressed with this team as you talk about their three-point prowess. And yes, because they can shoot and make shots, but it's more the scheme and the strategy that gets them open shots in the flow where they can trust the system, each other, and almost shoot blindly because you know where your shots are coming from.
Bryce Sanford takes a bow, his family looking on. We talked about brother Peyton and his parents up there, Brian and Gretchen, both who played college basketball. What a joy for them to see their son put on the performance he did today.
So this is what Nebraska is like in March. Huh?
They do have a great home crowd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. They have brought that show on the road. Frager curls it around. And a whistle with 1:47 to go. HGTV is taking the madness on the road. Join Darcy Carton, Sherry Cola on the ultimate girls trip, uncovering America's must-stays on Wild Vacation Rentals, all new Tuesday at 9 on HGTV. They empty the bench, and the crowd celebrates.
One of my favorite parts of the tournament is when the bench is empty and clear, because these guys, they're part of the team. They're not just on the bench. They're the fabric of the team. They're the part of the team that gets the starters prepared for the tournament. Their hard work goes unnoticed almost all year long by everyone except those guys in the locker room, and it's fun watching them play in front of family, friends on TV, because they deserve it.
And both coaches letting some guys get in off the end of the bench. And for Troy, you think about seniors, and number 22 Corbin Green, who just checked in, a senior transfer from Texas Tech, getting his final college experience. Drive it inside, little push shot, no good, and rebound the other way. Three from Campbell, that rolls off on him, kind of how the day has gone, and a whistle and a foul inside on Nebraska. A moment that number 21 will never forget, or number 1, that's for sure. Think about the chance to be here with your dad and get that first tournament, and on the other side, the tears starting to form.
Those tears are earned. And as a competitor, you have to respect it, because you know what he put into this. When you put enough into it, the reward is tears, because you understand This has been your journey. You just want to encourage other players along as you go, but you're also going to feel that pain.
Leo Curtis, freshman from Iceland, getting some time here. Big fella, 7'2". Blue puts it up. His first shot of the game off the bench leaves it short. Final minute here. Dancing inside, Jacobson strips it away from Colbert. The 18,000 still standing. Curtis will let it go. And tapped out to Blue. Bolus. No. But these guys are getting their shots up.
Hey, that's how you want. So you're saying I got a chance. Huh? And the bench knows it. That's why they're laughing and getting involved. And oh man, these guys are celebrating the school's first victory. To be a part of that, Brandon, is just so special.
And for Troy, their season will end with 22 wins for the first time going to back-to-back NCAA tournaments. But they ran into a buzzsaw today. And now the final 9 seconds before Nebraska gets that win and gets their 27th win of the season, which will set a new program record, beating their 90-91 squad. That'll do it. The drought is over. Nebraska has their first NCAA tournament victory. A formula that has worked for them all season long, hitting three-pointers, playing solid defense, and they held a Troy team, Chris, that averaged 80 points a game to 47 here today.
And that's what you want to see. Only 6 turnovers, and you couple that with 20 assists. I mean, that just shows you the mentality of this team. Work hard on the defensive end, unselfish play in our offensive strategy.
What a thrill for this fan base to see their team advance on to the second round, and they will play the winner of Vanderbilt and McNeese coming up next year in OKC. What a joyous moment. Andy's in the scrum.
All right, guys. Well, Fred, you came home to Nebraska to do something special. You just did. The first ever NCAA tournament win in Nebraska history. I can see it in your face. This is a family affair. What are you feeling at this moment?
A lot of emotions, Andy. It's just it's been a special group since the beginning, since we put them together. I've just loved coaching them. They've been all about the right things. They've been unselfish, and we're not satisfied. I can promise you that. We're a group that's all year long. We've been able to put things behind us, but this is emotional. There's no doubt about it. With my family history here, this means the world. So really excited to continue and continue to compete.
I think the whole state showed up. What did you think of this atmosphere?
It was unbelievable. I've never been in a neutral site where it's been louder, and they just, you know, right from the beginning, when our guys came out for warm-ups, I knew it was going to be a special day.
Can I bring in your son?
Please.
Sam, come here, man. When you came to Nebraska, there was no way that you thought this would happen. Play, let alone this. You just helped deliver this for your father, for your family, for the university, for the state. How does it feel?
I can't describe the feeling. It's what I dreamed of. Back when we lost 12 conference games in a row while I was sitting on the bench as a red shirt, I used it as motivation. I never thought it would actually happen, and here we are. It's the greatest feeling I've ever had.
Hey, this is just one. You got a game on Saturday. How do you duplicate this regardless of who you play?
Yeah, I mean, listen, our team is so close. We have a special bond. We're going to have to turn around quickly. It's going to be tough because we're so happy from what just happened, but we're going to have to turn around quickly, get focused on the next game, and keep this thing rolling.
I don't think the Nebraska fans are going anywhere. They're here the whole weekend.
They're unbelievable. Shout out Husker Nation.
And the celebration is on. We'll be back to wrap it up from Oklahoma City. The 4th-seeded Cornhuskers on to Saturday. They will face the winner of our next one, Vanderbilt and McNeese, here at the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City. Our final score, 76-47. McNeese and Vanderbilt. Coming up next on True TV, we'll send you our studio for Capital One Tournament Central after these messages.